The saying at the stock show has always been either on the hill or in the yards. I'll meet you in the yards or I'll meet you on the hill. And we're in the yards, and this sign says that. It's the historic archway that led into the original National Western, and they have preserved the archway in hopes of one day when the grounds are rebuilt and made fancy and pretty, that the archway will resume an important, significant part of the entrance to the show. In the 1870s, they built the original Exchange building, which is the little building on the back, 2 stories high. In 1903, they decided they needed more office space in a bigger place, so they built the building that's in the center, the blonde 3-story building. And then in 1911, they decided to really make the crowning touch to the stockyards, and so with great architectural flourish and building, they built the front building, which is what is most visible and appears in most pictures when you're talking about the Denver stockyards. But that was the site of all the cattle traders and order buyers and other dealers who dealt the cattle that are out throughout the pens in the stockyards back in the day. We're out here in the northwest corner of the historic Denver stockyards at the National Western Stock Show, looking at the facilities for loading and unloading cattle. But up until the 1950s, the cattle all moved on rail, and these docks along behind under us here have steps separated by where the rail car doors were on the rail cars for letting the cattle in and out, down into the pens, down into the further part of the stockyards. And each cattle ownership group, as it came off the train, then went to a separate pen and they marked it with the name of the owner, and then the commission firms that were located in the historic Livestock Exchange building were posted on what cattle were in what pen, and they went out and looked at their cattle and started making deals then to market them to the packing houses. Denver had 3 main packing houses right here in the stockyards, and there were enormous big bridges which are still in use as car bridges in rural Colorado and southern Wyoming. And when an order came into the commission firm in the Exchange building, a packer would say, we need 5 pens, or we need 4 pens, or whatever we need. They would go out in the yards, look over the cattle, and arrange to sell them. And after they were sold, a man would come on a horse, and they would drive the cattle up the alleys to the bridge and run them right over the bridge down into the packing plant. Nowadays, just a minor part of a catwalk that we're standing on is left of the old Denver stockyards. They used to be built out of wood and were rickety and splintery, and there were many more of them than there are now, but nonetheless, they weren't nice cement chain link fence deals like we're standing on today.